roles, character roles. I've played comedy, I've been in every facet of show business, I've worked in the circus, I've worked in every kind of business, and I never played anything straight. I certainly never played me. I didn't know who the hell I was. When the head of the BBC said, we want you to play, I said, how do you want me to play Doctor Who? And he said, we want you to play as Jon Pertwee. And I said, who the hell is he? Because I always did under a green umbrella all my life. That means that I played character. Peter Sellers was one of my greatest friends, the late Peter Sellers. He was the same. You never saw Peter Sellers play anybody else but a character. You never saw Peter play Peter. If you had, you'd have seen a very sad, rather lugubrious man. He was a very sad man, very introverted man. And yet he played always these extroverted characters, and I was very much the same, except that I'm not an introvert, as you can say. And so I took it over, and that's how I got the job. And that's how I played it. They said, play it as me, and I eventually found out what I was like. And I didn't have any moustaches or beards or glasses and things, but I did have frilly shirts and velvet jackets and flamboyant capes, and I drove crazy things, and I became somewhat active.
Who decided how the role should be characterized?
Who decided how the role should be characterized? Me! Naturally, because you can't decide, you can't tell an actor how to characterize something, otherwise it wouldn't employ that actor. You employ that actor to play because the producers think that he can play it well. And so they said, play it. Play it.
Any questions for the audience?
Oh, yes. Right, let's go backwards. Let's have the ladies first. A beautiful lady here.
Oh, thank you. Tell us your favorite
Not
joke,
at all.
please.
What's your telephone number?
Tell us your favorite joke.
I can, and I will. My room is room 202. I'll tell you privately. No. I'm not here to tell jokes, madam. I'm here in the role of actor of Doctor Who. Maybe there will be some funny stories that will come out of these interviews the next 5 days, or whatever it is we're here.
I think you were second on the short list. Who else is on it, and where are they now?
Ah, that's an interesting question. Who is also on the short list? I don't know who is on after me, but I know who was on before me. That was Ron Moody.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Ron Moody was the first. They wanted Ron to play. Ron was a character actor as well. He would have been a very good doctor. But he was busy doing something else. He's very much of a man who wants to do everything himself. You know, he wants to write and direct and produce and star, and he wants to do it all, which he's done frequently, which has not always been a good idea for his career. But that's who was asked to do it. When the reason, advancing that slightly, is that the reason why they asked me to do it, strangely, was because at that time I was better known as a light entertainer in the sort of Danny Kaye field. I'm supposed to look a bit like Danny Kaye, at least I did when I was younger. He now gets about all right, I believe, poor old chap. But I did look rather like him, and I did music, and I was a comedian. That's why the lady said, tell me a joke. And so they wanted me to do it because they knew I played the guitar, and they knew that I sang, and they knew I played character roles. And he had this bad idea of having a Doctor Who is always sort of playing the guitar and singing songs. Thank God! You know, he left very shortly after I arrived, and Barry Letts took over, and we didn't have any of that rubbish, and I was able to play the Doctor as I played it. Yes, sir.
What was your favorite story that you did?
My favorite story in Doctor Who is, without any question of doubt, the Demons. I don't know whether you've seen it, but if you haven't done it, you're going to. The reason why I liked the Demons best was because it was, first of all, it was filmed. I like being out in the open air. Would you desist from doing that disgusting thing? Put your bubble gum under the sink. Like a bullfrog. A pink one there. Yes, it was filmed on location. So we went to the studio, which I don't like. I don't like being in the studio, because I like being out in the open air. My other series, Wurzel Gum, which is all shot in the open air. And the second reason was because there were no obviously silly monsters. There was just Bok, the little gargoyle, which was just really a comedic sort of character. And there was only Azal at the end, which, you know, it was Azal, wasn't it? Yes. Just testing. And And you remember he grew into a gigantic great satyr at the end of the church. And that was the only time. But the atmosphere of the demons I thought was the best of anything we'd ever done because it was spooky. And we did it, we shot it in an area. Any of you come from England?
Yeah.
Ah, good Lord, heaps of you. But do you know that part of the world near Marlborough where it was shot? Near vaguely, well, if there are barrows there, which is where the early Anglo-Saxons were buried, and they're very, very spooky up on the hills. And at night, it's really very weird, and we shot lots of scenes up there at night. It's very, very spooky indeed. And so the whole atmosphere of the demons was a spooky atmosphere without the use of obvious idiotic monsters like Daleks.
Me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I was wondering, outside of Doctor Who, have you worked with any other actors who were associated with Doctor Who, or as assistants or guest stars outside of the show?
Madam, Doctor Who, as you know, is 200 years old, and I am perfectly cast. I've been, by that I mean, not quite what it sounds. I'll get round to your question to answer it, I promise you. What I mean is that I've been in show business so long that there are no actors that I don't know. When I say that, I don't mean the young, up-and-coming young actors. Naturally, I don't know them because I haven't had the pleasure of working with them. But all the established actors and stars of the theatre and the film business in our country, I know because they were all contemporaries of mine. And I've worked with them, I started with them. I have people like Sir John Gielgud and Sir Noel Coward and Sir Ralph Richardson and Sir Laurence Olivier. I mean, Laurence Olivier is a relation of mine, he married my cousin. And Jill Esmond, incidentally, in case any of you are immediately saying, oh, we lived in Vivian Lee. Larry Olivier's first wife was Jill Esmond, who was my cousin, and I was a part of his family. There are of many, many actors that you've seen in my era of Doctor Who, the reason why they were there was because I asked for them to be, because they're my friends. And so nearly all the characters, why there seemed to be such a good rapport in my era, I think perhaps more than in others, was because I took a lot more interest in the casting and begged my directors to cast my friends in the roles. By that I don't mean that I'm accused of nepotism. I would only recommend anybody who I thought would be 100% right for that role. And also that they would be fun. Because the great thing in Doctor Who, the great thing in any sort of teamwork, is to enjoy yourselves and have fun. And we had a hell of a lot of fun. Yes. The bubble gummer, yes.
What's your favorite enemy in all the Doctor Who that you've done?
My favorite enemy? That's a bit of a non sequitur. Can you have a favorite enemy? My favorite enemy, I know what you mean, without question, was my late, dear, beloved friend, Roger Delgado. Roger was one of my closest friends and had been for years and years and years, and I loved him like a brother. And I was devoted to his wife, and my wife and his wife and I used to spend a great deal of time together, both off and on. And he was, of course, the greatest villain that I came across. So he was a form of monster, wasn't he? He was a monster to me. And so that was my favorite. Yes.
What became of Katie Manning? And where is she now?
Katie Manning posed for certain magazines.
I'm aware of that.
As far as I know, Sir Katie Manning is still in Australia. She's married. She has twin boys. She was recently in the United States of America, where she appeared as if by magic for a convention somewhere. I don't know how on earth they got all the way from Australia, but they did. And she's now back in Australia, as far as I know, and I haven't heard from her since I left. Liz Sladen is a very dear close friend of ours. She sent me all her love. Everybody there that I know, please say hello to them for me. And to say that her baby, Sadie, is extremely well. She's just had a baby. She had a bit of a tough time with it, so she had a Caesar. But she is fine, and the baby's fine. And she's called Sadie.
Do you know where we can get this magazine, by the way?
Just write to Hugh Hefner. He's got a few.